Alright, guys and girls, here we are reviewing Killswitch Engage's 8th studio album, Atonement. Here we are 20 years later, and these guys just can't seem to stop putting out good music. You would think after 20 years a band would start running out of ideas for riffs, breaks, hooks, and that just doesn't seem to be the case with this band. Now this album immediately pulls you in and keeps your head banging and keeps you wanting to at least hum along, if not sing along, to almost every track on the album. The riffs are heavy and full of energy, the breaks are as nasty as they are fun, and the hooks are excellent contrast to the sometimes chaotic riffs that are going on. And I gotta say, there's not a single bad track on the album. I really enjoyed the whole album start to finish. It's got excellent replayability, value to it. It's not one of those albums you get bored with quickly. I've already listened to it a couple times all the way through, and it's just got tons of energy. It's a lot of fun, and it's got a great mix of heavy vocals to singing vocals, so you don't get tired of either one. Now, everything on this album is mixed really, really well, and there's no surprise there with Adam D mixing their albums as he has done probably since the beginning. He's got arguably some of the best metalcore albums out there, from Norma Jean's Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child, to All That Remains, The Fall of Ideal is probably one of their crowning jewels. I know that he does most, if not all, of their albums and Shadows Fall. He's got Parkway Drives, Horizons, and Killing Them with a Smile. Again, Killing with a Smile, probably one of their hardest albums. Horizons might be their crowning jewel. And then you've got As I Lay Dying's An Oceans Between Us and Powerless Rise, two of their better, if not best, albums. They're another one of those bands that puts out great albums year after year. Really looking forward to their new album coming out. He put out August Burns Red's Thrill Seeker, without a doubt their heaviest album. They have a lot of heavy albums, and they've kind of gone a different direction here lately, but their heaviest. And then he's got Tim Lambesis, the lead singer from As I Lay Dying's side project, Austrian Death Machine's debut album, Total Brutal, and he's got many more out there, but those are the ones that really stand out to me as somebody who's been listening to metalcore for quite a while. Now we start with track 1, Unleashed, and it starts with just a few seconds of a soft intro, if you could even call it that, but it leads into an explosive intro. Now what grabbed me the most about this album was Jesse Leach's vocals and the wide range that he really employed in this album, or this track. He went from very guttural growling and screaming to a more higher register screaming. Great range there, and then he also sings on this track, as he does in many of them, and the range was just very enjoyable, a lot of fun. It doesn't leave you bored at all. And then we've got the track number 2, The Signal Fire, guest starring, if you can even call it guest starring, Howard Jones. This track is immediately in your face, thrashy, with a touch of punk and metalcore just for a little bit of attitude. And the drums are a bit insane and punchy as well. You're going to hear that word a lot in this, punchy. This album is very punchy. And the drumming was definitely reminiscent of the Rev, not quite as all over the place as the Rev, but just the way that they made their changes and how fast and energetic the drumming was definitely reminded me of the Rev, especially back in like City of Evil era. Now the hook, just like everyone on this album, is catchy and very memorable. We slow down a bit with the next track, Up Against the World. Now the riff behind the hook is a great addition to Jesse's vocals. The vibe is a bit more chunky and headbanging. And then next we have The Crownless King, featuring none other than Testament's Chuck Billy. Now immediately this track reminds you of early metalcore. It's a little more chugga, if that makes any sense. But it seamlessly moves into a bit of a Lamb of God feel, which makes sense being that it's got Testament's singer in it. It's got more of that metalcore or metal side feel to it. It's a little bit grungier, a little bit nastier. Now, I really like how Jesse and Chuck's vocals meshed. Chuck's vocals are very unique, and Jesse's is also very unique, and there were times where you could hear Jesse's vocals in a bit of a higher register on top of Chuck's lower guttural type screaming, and it was a great mix, great mashup. I thought it was a great idea. I can imagine that they have probably been talking about this since Killswitch and Testament went on the road, years back. Now next we move into I Am Broken 2, which is a very short tune coming in at 2 minutes and 39 seconds, but it's a very catchy tune. And with this one, is not as scream heavy as the rest of the album. It's mostly singing, but with this track, Jesse shows that he's just as good of a singer as he is a screamer. And I thought it was a great change of pace for the album there. Now, on the next track, we pick up the pace just a little bit with As Sure as the Sun Will Rise. Now, this song is the one that has that early All That Remains feel, thinking of the fall of ideals. Again, which is no surprise, being that Adam D produced that album. The contrast between the thrashy verses and the big open chorus makes this song as memorable as it is heavy. Now, ending on a high note, this song ends with a hard-hitting, quick outro. It's very quick. Now, next we move into Know Your Enemy. This main riff is very chunky, punchy, and heavy. Again, you're going to keep hearing those words because it just defines this album. We have a great nasty break, a little under 2.5 minutes in. The lyrics are great. As with the rest of this album, the lyrics tend to be very positive and uplifting, nothing negative. You can tell that Jesse, as he's said, has been going through a lot of depression and issues with drug abuse and alcoholism and things like that. So it's good to see that he's got a great out, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people that are into this scene are really going to grab onto, is the positivity of the lyrics. And that's one of the things that I enjoy the most about this album, along with the riffs and just the way that it was mixed and produced. Now next we move into Take Control, which is an excellent catchy tune, which will have you wanting to sing along by the end of it. Now, then we move into the very heavy head-banging Ravenous. This is one of those songs that immediately makes you wish you were in a mosh pit. It's just one of those songs that if you went to a metal show and you went to go see Killswitch and you just weren't feeling the songs that they were playing and they riffed into this one, it would immediately make you want to go straight for the mosh pit. The energy in it is just insane and aggressive, but not angry. It's a hard one to explain, but it's just very enjoyable. Now we move into the 10th track, I Can't Be the Only One. Now we have just a few moments of an ambient type piano intro, but just like with most, if not all of their lyrics, they're just very positive and uplifting, which just adds another great layer of complexity and contrast to their music. Now the last track, Bite the Hand That Feeds, definitely ends on a high note. It starts off a bit progressive, but carries into a heavy breakdown about halfway through. It's pretty thrashy, kind of progressive. It's just got one of those riffs that you kind of have to listen to it a time or two to catch what's going on. This is probably the heaviest track on the album. Between the two breaks, or the breakdowns in this track, the first one's a bit faster, keeps your head banging, and the way they end it is just a sludgy, drag you through the mud type, slow breakdown that is just absolutely nasty. It's a lot of fun and is a great way to end the album. And again, I really have no complaints with this album from start to finish. I was kind of hesitant because usually you think about, at this point in a band's career, they start slowing down or start putting out poppier records. You think about Bring Me the Horizon or Parkway Drive, or I can't call Slipknot's new album poppy, but are they headed in the right direction? Comments below, let me know. I would love to do a review of that album and let you know how I think about that one. So what did you think? What's your take on the album? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you prefer Jesse as the front man, or did you enjoy Howard Jones more? What do you think Adam D's best album that he's produced and put out is? Leave a comment below. Hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content. And I'll be putting out a new video soon. Peace.